Right, I was thinking it.
You're on.
Hi.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to Tea Together. Uh,
Sorry. I wasn't paying attention to my cue.
I am Judy Porter,
I'm Jen Baca.
and I am an energy practitioner, intuitive counselor, and my company is called Power by Your Soul. I work at Journey Station Health and Wellness Center in North PA. We also do Journeys with Judy show on Facebook and YouTube, and we have an Anchors of Love group.
Yes. I work with Judy on Together Lightweaving, and I was the right if you need to figure out how to do it via Zoom. I'm the owner of Alignment Marketing and Consulting, a business where I have holistic practitioners with websites and marketing materials. And I'm a tea blogger. I think I got these issues.
Excellent. Now, those of you that have been watching the Tea Together, we were here, I don't know, 2 weeks ago? Something like that. And we did a workshop on angelic lightweaving. So we're going to do some reading today, but we thought we'd have a little chat. It's Saturday, we're going to keep things casual, and we thought we'd just have a little chat about what's going on, how you're dealing with things, and some insight that Jen and I have acquired.
Working from home.
Working from home at this interesting time. So Jen has the laptop. If you ask questions, then feel free to do that. We've had some things going on. One thing exciting for the Chi community is we had our big book release. Healing Together book release, so that's been exciting. It's been doing well. The reviews have been well. I'm honored to be a part of that collaboration and to be grouped in with such amazing people. It's a book about modalities. It's a book about spiritual journeys. So if you haven't seen all the posts about the book release at this point, check it out. It's on Amazon for 99 cents. And it's called Healing Together. So there's that. Okay, the dog is safely upstairs, and Jen is running up. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is there was a call, I was probably almost a month ago, and it might have been Sue Curry or Vicky Freeman, I forget who posted it, it might have been Freeman, about joining together as groups and sending healing out for the frontline people. And I just would call out to see if anybody wanted to join together, and I had a good response. We had over 20 people in the group. It's called the Rainbow Connection. And I wanted to do a special shout out to Alicia Huber and Mary Beer, because their first comments back to the post I had was, I'm going to set an alarm in my phone. And that has been the most beneficial thing for me ever, because I do the same thing, and I set it for 2:25, and at 2:25 every day, my alarm goes off, so it has ensured I have not missed one healing session from 2:30 to 3 o'clock, and I just wanted to thank them, because in my head, I never would have thought of setting an alarm.
But it is pretty okay.
Yes, it has served me well, so thank you, ladies, for that. And I want to thank all the members of the Rainbow Connection. I hope you are doing healing for yourself before you're sending out, because that in itself has been very beneficial for me as well. So that's exciting. Jen, what else do you have going on?
I participate. I'm working from home currently. My day job, my work has been reduced and will be further reduced as of May 1st through the end of July. So I've been doing that and dealing with that and, doing it.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about fear. When you found out, it was yesterday,
Mhm.
that you were gonna be furloughed,
Mhm.
how did you receive that?
I actually, my logical brain knows that it makes perfect business sense. I don't have anything to do. Um, and I really didn't go into fear. I really kind of looked at it like, okay, I'm going to take this universal pause and use the time to balance. I mean, I think a lot of people are struggling now with the feeling obligated to be productive with this time. Generally, I don't struggle with this. That's not one of the things that I struggle with. I'm excellent relaxer. So my goal is to create a balance and flow between creating and relaxing, being still and quiet, and taking this time to. I'm an introvert, so just staying at home doesn't bother me at all. I'd be like, I've got that. I'm not homeschooling, so it's very peaceful. But yeah, so that's my creative. There have been some things that I wanted to do creatively, and because of it, up until the virus kind of started in the middle of March, the shutting down started in the middle of March. My job has been crazy, like just very, very, very stressful. So, yeah, getting a balance of doing the things that I love to do, and is still.
And we were having a conversation before we went live about fear and how things that trigger fear within you don't trigger fear within me, because everybody has their own experience.
Right.
And I am living with my brother and my daughter, and my brother has lived very different life experiences than I have. So the things that are triggering him in all of this aren't the same things that have triggered me. And it was awesome because I live this spiritual life, and I'm not one that pushes it on the people that I love that are around me. I don't push it. I really focus on just being me and presenting what I can to be helpful. And my brother came home he had to run out to the store the other day, and we were talking, and he looked at me and he said, I really just think it's the collective anxiety that you pick up on when you're out there. And it really stresses me out. Just the fact that he used the term collective anxiety, my heart is glowing.
Yeah.
Right. And anybody who knows my brother, I love him dearly. He is an old school gentleman, and he will tell you that. He is all old school. He believes in hard work. And if you're not working, then if he's not working, then he's not serving his purpose. So this has been very difficult for him. And it has forced him to look within too. So it's been an interesting experience. I got to talk with my daughter, 15-year-old daughter, and it's affecting everyone differently, but I feel like some of the same lessons are being learned, and a lot of that is about people are having Okay. So,
Okay.
I feel like it's been interesting just within my home with the 3 different personalities and the 3 different experiences to watch and observe how it's affecting each of us differently. So I think for me, what I have learned is fear, and who am I to say that that experience should not make you experience fear, because everybody comes from a different place, you know, and when you buy into the fear, it lowers your immune system, and it makes you vulnerable. So in my home, I've really worked to just keep my vibration high, deal with the feelings as they come, flow through them, and if I'm triggered, I'm asking, you know, what is it I need to learn here? How is it I need to move forward? And I know this may sound sexist, it may sound crazy, but ladies, I feel like we control the vibration in our home. You know, it is the mother instinct within us that we are born with. It's the female empowerment. It's the female wanting to care for everyone. So we control the vibrations in our home. And I take that role very seriously. And it's hard work. You know, it may appear as though, because I haven't cleaned out all my closets and cleaned out the attic and done all my spring cleaning, that I'm not working, but it's been work on a different level.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now? Check 1, 2, check. Are you coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, would you like to add any input you have about fear?
Just that it, not only is it, does what triggers our fear, is that different for everyone, but how we feel it, how we show it, how we react to it is different for everyone.
Excellent. Yes, that is very true.
I leave my body.
Jen checks out completely.
I leave my body.
My daughter gets angry and everything is annoying and frustrating. And my brother, he goes to the garage and he smokes cigarettes and cleans his motorcycles.
And your motorcycle.
And my motorcycle. Yeah, he even used the term meditation. He was like, cleaning my motorcycles is my meditation. It's my space, time for me to get out of my head.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are being learned.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. They say it's still a little quiet, so use your outside voice. We'll use our outside voices. Just let us know if it gets quiet.
The other thing we wanted to talk about is you have friends with young children.
Yes.
And they've been struggling very much with the parent responsibility of school.
Of school, yeah. Lots of, and work. My friends, they've been lucky enough that they are all still working from home, but also with small children. And, you know, two friends have preschool children and then also fourth graders. So they're doing, you know, they and their spouses are home, but working, so doing meetings and then doing Zoom meetings for the kids and homework with the kids and making sure that they're doing their assignments. So, yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot. And I have, you know, a lot of my friends are parents as well, but a lot of my friends are teachers. I was a teacher for 24 years, so I'm hearing it from both sides, and all I can do is offer this advice. Parents and teachers about communication is the key, because this experience is new for everyone.
Right.
Administrators, teachers, parents, kids, everyone. So if you feel that the work for your child is overwhelming, write a respectful email. Don't write when you're triggered. Don't write when you're frustrated and you've had enough. Don't write when you've had a few cocktails. Take a breath. Pause. And just be honest with that teacher, because on the other end, that teacher's getting pressure from their administrator. You know, you have to provide this much work and it has to be of this quality and blah, 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 blah. Teachers are trying to figure it out. Parents are trying to figure it out.
Kids are trying to figure it out.
Kids are trying to figure it out. So you just have to communicate. And I can guarantee you, your teachers miss your children.
You know, as much, and believe me, I was a PE teacher, so I got all kinds of shit when I was teaching about how it's a half-ass job and you get paid for doing nothing. We teach because we love children. Will I tell you 100% of the teachers teach because they love children? No. But I can tell you the majority of your teachers would prefer to be in the classrooms with your kids. So please, just communicate. Communication is the only way that you're going to work through this and find that balance.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, between communication and balance, I feel like is a universal theme for all of this. Nobody's used to being in their homes with their families 24/7. Love them all, but I mean 24/7 is a lot. I mean, the kids need a break away. You know, they're not getting that. They're not seeing their friends most of the time. I have found it helpful I have friends that live, 3 hours away, and we get together once every couple of months. And we have started doing Zoom happy hours. So I've actually seen my friends more now than I have, in the previous 6 months, which is terrific because people don't pick up the phone. You don't pick up the phone, everybody just texts, which is lovely, but it's also really nice to hear their voices and see their faces and, have a couple of laughs, and that's been really huge.
Yeah, and it's brought a huge awareness to who's essential and who's non-essential in your life. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's brought an awareness to me of the people that, you get wrapped up in your busy days. You get wrapped up in life and work and everything like that, but it's given me the opportunity to sit back and be like, well, I want to check on this person and on that person. And non-essential doesn't mean you don't like them, they don't need to be a part of your life, but, when I started learning through all this spiritual journey stuff, it was about front row people, second row people, and you find out who your front row, your tribe is, those people that feed your soul, fill your cup. And it's an even exchange of effort to stay in communication, So that's been another big lesson for me.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all you have?
Yes, agreed.
Okay. And then the next thing that we wanted to touch on was just about there's so much information coming out. And I'm one that I don't watch a ton of news because it gets overwhelming for me. I do do my best to stay informed, and I've had time to sit and watch some of the documentaries that are coming out, and everybody's talking about conspiracy theories and things like that. And one of the best lessons I was taught when I started this journey back in 2012 was Heidi Williams looked at me and she said, you know what, there's a lot of information out there about spiritual growth, and all I'm going to tell you is you take what resonates with you and you leave the rest behind. So that is what I've done. Whatever feels right to me, that's what I accept as a part of me. And in watching these documentaries, my daughter and I have been into conspiracy theories for a while. Do I believe all of it? No. Do I think some of it's possible? Hell yes. But we watched it in good fun. And now I have this time on my hands, and I find myself really sitting and doing the research on my own and being like, wow, okay. But I had to stop myself. I was overwhelming myself with so much information that I really had to stop and sit and ask myself, okay, does this feel right to me? And feeling right doesn't always mean it makes you feel happy. Feeling right can simply mean that's horrendous and awful, but it feels very true to me. And Jen always laughs at me now because one of my tells is I'll cry. And anybody who knows me knows I'm not a big crier. But, when something really hits deep for me, I feel it to my core, and it makes me cry. And sometimes it's sad tears, and sometimes it's happy tears. But that has happened a lot to me, in this quarantine process, where I have to pause and say, all right, where do I sit with this? Where does this feel? How does this feel right for me? And we really need to start trusting our intuition, because that's what's going to serve us. And my hit, my resonate with me isn't going to be the same for you. Things are going to hit differently. We're all here to serve a different purpose, a very unique purpose. And I feel like part of this pause is being willing to go within and really figure out what your purpose is here. But again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if the news stories and the cycles that are going on pull you to a dark place, take care of yourself and separate yourself. Like I said, you know, I have gone through and filtered my news feed, not so that I only see the news that I want to see, but I see less of the news that I don't want to see. There are, you know, I love animals, and so I had gotten to a point where I followed a lot of animal rescue pages and stuff like that, and some of that sometimes got too heavy for me, so I had to, you know, I still do what I can to help where I can, but I can't have that in my face all the time because it pulls me to a dark place. But, you know, so that's a part of, you know, take what resonates with you, do what you can, and leave the rest.
When you go to that dark place, how do you get out?
I focus on the love. Focus on the good, and I focus on the love. Yeah, there's that famous Mr. Rogers, always look for the helpers.
Mm-hmm.
So I look to the helpers, and I focus on the good that's being done.
Excellent.
The dark exists, but there are people doing good from a place of love in order to shift it.
Mm-hmm. Heart-centered work. And that's where that alarm that I set every day, that has helped me. Because on those days where, you know, I'm sitting in the goo and I'm figuring things out, it reminds me. Because I'm not only sending love out, you know, to the frontliners in the world and humanity and Mother Earth and everything. First, I'm sending it to me. You know, so that self-healing on a daily basis is crucial in all of this.
Absolutely, yeah. Self-care.
Yeah, and I know, you know, I'm very fortunate, and I know I am. I have a 15-year-old daughter who is really handling this well. She's really doing a nice job with it. But I know there's, you know, people out there that you have a lot more kids and they're younger, and it's chaotic. And it is really important that you chunk out, put it in the schedule, chunk out time for you to take a bath. Just allow yourself to step away from the chaos, take a walk. And I know it's not always the easiest thing to do. It's easier just to throw your hands in the air and not put you first. But it's part of the lesson. It's part of the lesson. You have to put yourself first, because if that cup isn't being refilled, then that's when you get short-tempered with your kids, and that's when this experience turns into torture instead of something that can be, you know, useful and serve that purpose of growth and evolution.
Right. Connection and growth and
You know,
leveling up.
yeah, and as you're doing, your kids are watching to see how you handle this, you know, and if you're not putting your self-care first, then they're going to grow up thinking that they're not important enough to put their self-care first either. So you have to set the example of who you want them to be. And if you want them to be independent and care for themselves and love themselves, you have to do that first. You have to model that first. Because your words of empowerment mean nothing unless you live them. And I speak that from a place of experience. My mother said all the right things, but she had severe self-confidence issues and never thought she was enough, and I took all that on too. So you have to put yourself first. It is crucial that you do what you can to love yourself so that your kids can see how it's done, because society doesn't promote that. And hopefully when we emerge from this, we can create the new world. We can help create what shifts need to happen, what changes need to happen, because You know, what wasn't working, we can use this time to help shift to a place where we can create what does work.
Exactly.
Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about?
Nope, no questions.
Okay. Would you like to do a brief explanation of light weaving before we do it?
Sure. Light weaving is it's a healing modality. It is the language of angels. Basically I feel like it's like a physical representation of light language. There are people who speak light language, and this is a non-verbal form of that. It's just gentle,
Non-invasive.
non-invasive, non-touch hand motions, channeling the language and messages and healing energy of the angelic realm.
If you want to know more about it, you can refer back to the Chi Together we did a couple weeks ago,
Yep.
or go to join our group on Facebook, Anchorage of Light. There is an explanation of it there as well, and multiple videos that you can watch. And the best part of it is, this healing meets you where you're at. You know, you can watch the same healing video 10 times, and in 10 times you're in 10 different places. The angels always meet you where you are,
Yeah.
and take that healing from there.
And anyone can do it. We do teach a class. There is an attunement, but you know, many times we've been teaching classes, and you know, our students will say, "I've been doing this for a long time." So it's an energy modality that anyone can do. Anyone who is willing to open and receive and connect with the angelic realm can do this.
Yes. So Jen and I would like to do a little session for you today, and if you feel guided to join in, please do. If your hands are guided to move, please move them, and if not, sit and receive, be open to the healing, and it's our gift to you.
Yep.
So we just have to shift some things around for a minute. Hang with us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own the rights to this music.
Broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round.
Take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth.
But I see it in you, so we can walk it out. Mountains, we can walk it out and mountains. And I rise like the day. I rise unafraid. I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I rise up, I like the waves. I rise up, in spite of the age. I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence is in quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Ooh, that we have each other. And we'll rise, we'll rise, we'll rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the end. I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the end. We'll rise up and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. It's an honor to present for you and to be here for you. Remember, when things get heavy, look to the light, ask for help, reach out and ask for help. People are here to lift you, and we can only do this together. Don't forget you're awesome. Have a great day.
Thank you. Sorry for the audio issues.